Can we start with the team news this week?
Yeah, Joel Moon is back. He's available after his concussion, and I think you'd have to help me here. I think that's it. Mitch Garbutt, yes, he's back from illness. He was ill day of the game, and yeah, he's come through that.
How much of a plus is it to have those guys back, because they were pretty good in game one, weren't they?
Yeah, both important. We've got a couple of blokes out on loan, and when you lose a couple of blokes in training as well, Adam Cuthbertson was down ill this week as well. We've had some skinny numbers training this week, but all good. To have, especially Mooney, who was fantastic against St Helens there. It's going to be a boost, yeah.
Is Cuthbertson okay?
Yeah, good. He just missed a couple of days. I think he must have picked the bug up off Garbutt. One in, one out, Garbutt comes back training and Cuthbertson stands down.
Any thoughts of reshuffling within the 17-19?
Not to a big degree, no. I don't think clearly we've not hit our straps yet, so, we're not saying everything's all right, but at the same time, I don't think anything's way off either, so no massive reshuffle, no.
What do you want to see more of on Friday that you've not seen in the last two games?
I don't think in the first two games we've nailed our kicking game quite yet. They're inconsistent with that. We've had some fantastic kicks. Liam Sutcliffe, he used him as a case study. He came up with some awful example of kicks against Lee, but then came up with some fantastic ones as well, and pretty much nailed the game towards the back end with that 40-20, which was just an exceptional time to do it. Really timely one, which is great for him. It's good to know that he has that in the bag. And to get that drop goal at the end of the first half, there's some great vision, some balls to be able to do that. He's and to nail the skill. But consistently, the kicking game for us, we need to be a lot better with it.
He seemed pretty down with himself when he kicked the ball out on the full. I mean, have you had a word with him this week?
Oh, he gets talked to. He probably does more talking to us about it than us telling him. Very much about asking them what they think of it and get their take on it. So he's aware. He's not just one of those things where he rolls his eyes and goes, well, what a weird kick. He knows how big that was. I'll tell you what was more interesting in that, not too long after that, he found himself in a very similar position and went for touch and kicked another ball.
Good one.
And it went into touch. He drilled it along the ground. And again, it takes some minerals to do that. And I know Sutty's not the finished article just yet, and I know he's got one or two things in his game that he and we all would like to see accelerated into a 200 game experienced player, but he's not, and he'll still come up with one or two blunders. But to play at this club and to play at the level that we expect him to play, you've got to have some minerals. And for him to go for that kick, this is before the 40-20, and to drill that one, knowing full well he just come up with a horrendous version a few moments before, I thought it was a big moment for him. It was good, that, and it tells you a little bit about what goes on between his brains. He doesn't get unnerved very easily.
What do you think you'll get from Salford?
I think they're a good attacking team. Chris Plume said to the group this week, I thought it was a good moment from Plume. He said this will be the best attacking team we've faced so far this year, albeit we're still early in the season. They're really good with the ball. They've got some cohesion together. They play in sync with each other. I think their halves are pretty dominant with what they do, Dobson and Louis. So we're expecting a great attacking team.
Are they doing anything different from last year, from what you've seen?
I wouldn't be able to give it a read on that just yet. But they'll have their system of playing, which has probably been honed, I suppose. If you want to compare them to last year, Dobson's been with them another year, so he's. It'll be honed. I think between Dobson, Louis and O'Brien at the back, you got three blokes there who are no slouches with the ball, who can all find a great pass, who can all run with the ball as well. So, I think Chris Plume's statement early in the week was a good one to the players. It's get ready. These are probably the best attacking team you've faced. Did
you have any particular thoughts about whether Todd Carney played or not this week for them? Yeah,
we considered it. We wanted to find out where he was at. It's one of those, if he does play, he's probably only just got off an aeroplane, so yeah, we'd considered it.
First home game of the season as well, brings its own benefits. And pressures maybe as well?
I don't know about pressures. It certainly benefits, yeah. We're playing in front of our own fans. We've been on the road for a couple of games now. Played one warm-up game against OKR here, so the last competitive game we played was against Leeds in the final home game last year, so it'd be good to get back home, yeah.
Brilliant, thank you, Brian.
Brian, defensively you've been really good the opening 2 weeks. You must be delighted with how the boys have started the season in that respect.
Yeah, certainly in the warm-up games as well, we've been great in defence. I think in the first 2 games, I think we've conceded 1 try in each half in both games. So it's something that you've got to. If you want to be a good team, you've got to have some great D. Yes, we need to bolt some other things onto our game, but defence is a great start point.
There's been a lot of talk about the attack, but you've won one of the 2 games you've played. Is that something that'll come? Is it something almost you can push too hard?
It will come, yeah. No, it will come. It will come. And I've been quoting for the last 2 games. Yes, we'd like to add some attack, and the attack will come. You can't add defence sometimes, and certainly we know from last year, if you haven't done the work in pre-season to be a good defensive team, it's nearly impossible to get it in during the year. So where we're at right now is 1 or 2 things to get on top of with our offensive game, and no drama with that. We'd like it this week, and if it doesn't come this week, we'll get it. But we're really pleased. I'm really confident about the D at the moment.
There were some great last-ditch efforts last week. I guess that tells you a lot about your team, that they are all, getting stuck in and
they're enjoying it.
Sorry?
They're enjoying it. They're enjoying playing with each other. They're enjoying defending with each other. They're enjoying those moments. And Lee wasn't great in the second half, but only because we dropped the ball and asked Lee and said to Lee, go on, be as good as you can be. And they were good, Lee, because we give them a lot of possession. But our fellas are enjoying the challenge of saying, even though that has all gone on, we're still not going to let you score a try. And again, that's something it's good to be in the game. That.
How pleased were you to get some minutes into Jack Ormonroyd in Super League?
Yeah, good. Jack will play again with us this week. He's going to play again. He'll come off the bench. So there's some potential in Jack. And the blokes who have already featured off the bench, such as a Mullally or a Baldwinson, it's all good, and they'll get their go again in a number of weeks. At the moment, it's Jack this week, so the lad's got some potential. He probably just needs lots of game time at Super League, but we can't afford it each week and just give him as much as he wants. So this is the process he goes through. He gets a bit more game time this week.
Do you underestimate the leap from Championship to Super League for someone like Jack?
Do I? No.
Do we?
Do you? I don't know. It's an I don't think there's such a leap in some games, and then in other games there probably is. Jack came off against Lee and said to one of his staff, "Yes, that's quicker than Championship." He said, "Absolutely, that's quicker." But that's not to say for a period of time. We're not dropping them into a war zone. They can hold on to their hats for 15 minutes and do a job 15 minutes, and he did that, Jack, and a bit less than that. And we expect him to do the same against this week. There's a step up, and on some occasions, and it depends where they've been in their Championship career. Sometimes they've been playing poor, or they haven't been getting enough game time. That when we do select them and say, right, you've got to do a job this week, yes, it's a big step up. But at the moment where Featherstone are at, and they're playing some good stuff, Featherstone, they're playing solid. I wouldn't imagine the step up's that big.
Just finally from me, the World Club Challenge, obviously the 2 British sides won. I mean, that's a shot in the arm for our game, isn't it, as a whole?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I thought the way it was done as well, I thought both teams were pretty dominant. Although it was a contest, I thought Wigan and Warrington were just came out the blocks and said, this is us, this is what we're good at, and it's good. Great for the game, good for those clubs. Gives the concept of that World Club Challenge series a boost as well.
I know we've spoken about Liam Sutcliffe already. Sometimes when he does make a bit of an error or an error of judgment or a mistake, his body language says that he's frustrated in himself. Do you think in the moment he can be a bit hard on himself?
No, he makes an error. The magnitude he did when he kicked into touch, I think is the other version is that he shows no emotion, and the other version is that he laughs about it. So he drops his head. He's hacked off with himself, and but composes himself really quickly. I want him to be hacked off that he's made those errors. I don't think he's doing it too much, and I think that was proven by the fact that just a number of sets later, he went for a similar kick and nailed it. Great composure, great mentality.
Stevie Ward getting man of the match in front of the Sky cameras, you must be absolutely delighted. I know you've spoken about his mental strength coming off the back of last year. You must be really pleased with his performance.
Yeah, for sure. He just to be able to get out there and play with Stevie and with anybody. You know, we keep mentioning Stevie Ward, but Carl Abbott loves playing. Carl Abbott loves playing week in, week out. We've got Brett Ferris, who's probably, 3, possibly 4 weeks away from playing, who's frustrated as anything with this groin issue he has. Brett Delaney, who's back available to play, but the likelihood is that he'll play with Featherstone this week. He's frustrated that he's not with us, so anybody who's out there playing is, while it's tough and they're getting ready for to go into battle for us, they're also living the dream as well, and Stevie there to be able to get out there. I think we're really tough, Stevie. There's not too many moments where, I mean, he's a great strike player, Stevie, but he's also got this incredible work ethic. And between him and Jamie Jones and Carl Ablett, they just really cleaned up a lot of those moments for us in D against Lee. Stevie was great. For him to get man of the match, he's great.
It's a bit of a general question, but in the wake of the game last week, you spoke about how unhappy you were with some of the things you did with the ball in the second half, but delighted with the way that you defended. Is that a difficult approach to take as a coach post-game, and what you say to the players and how you pick them
up? In terms of what? In terms of the difficulty was I'm not sure where you're driving towards, but
in terms of the balance of saying, look, this wasn't good enough, but what we
I thought it was I thought that was an easy balance to get. The second half we were awful with the ball, but I think I said in the media, and I said to the players, you deserve to win the game because you defend like that, you deserve to win it, and did win the game, and nobody should feel bad about winning that game. But let's not kid ourselves, that offensive game's just not so much the offensive game. I think when we do put some players on and when we have some momentum and when we do work with each other, we look really good. And we've showed spells in both games for that. I thought Ryan Hall's try resulted in a fantastic offensive set through the whole set. I thought Callum Watkins' break down the sideline of against St Helens when he fed it back into Liam Sutcliffe was a brilliant passage of play. So we have got that strike there. We are showing some brilliant moments, but dropping the ball against Lee is clearly not good enough. And I'm not going to pussyfoot around that. I walk in eggshells. And if you want to accuse me of being overly negative, I'll wear that. But we can't stand for those. We need to be clear that coming up with a possession rate that we did, which went down to 50% at one stage in the half. I don't care who's in Super League, they'll get you. And the fact that we won that game, I just wanted to make sure that everybody in the land knew that we're not punching the air thinking, yeah, we've won, it doesn't matter. It does matter. That offensive game does matter. But I thought we deserved to win because when you defend like we did, you're fit, you're strong, you're healthy, and you've got some desire to win games for each other. And that's great. That's a great sign to have.
Last one from me. I know that Lee started well last week. Obviously, it got a bounce from the crowd and everything about their first home fixture there for a number of years. And for you, I imagine you'll be hoping for the same from the crowd that comes tomorrow evening. Yeah,
the danger is we take them for granted and then we expect what they did last year. They were brilliant last year. I'm sure they'll be great. They'll, we often talk about the players being happy to be at home, and I'm sure the fans who have just been on the road for 2 weeks will be great. They'll be thankful and really looking forward to our own fixture as well. Cheers.
Brian, just what was you thinking behind Brett playing for Fev on Sunday?
So he's had a good pre-season there, Brett Delaney, and hasn't had a great pre-season for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. He's always had some sort of niggle, and he's always had, an altered pre-season, something that we've had to just take him out of every now and again and make him let him have a few days off. Well, he's had just at the back end of a great pre-season, but picked up a bit of a knee niggle and a foot injury, I think it is. And then played in the friendlies, but then picked something up in those and hasn't trained since consistently. So, now the physios have said, right, he's now available to play. That's the big call for us, just to go throw him straight in. We did this last year. Throw him straight in. And I don't want to do that this year. So he's got a great attitude towards it. He's going to go to Fev. It's not where he wants to play. He wants to play for the Rhinos, but he also understands that playing for Featherstone, there's some real benefit in that. They're a credible organisation, Featherstone. We have a really good relationship with them. I have a really good relationship with John Sharp, so they're not going to be playing too many systems that are completely opposite to ours. He'll get some great game time with him. And the week after, when once again he makes himself available for selection, I can look at some footage and say you either are or you're not in contention based on that footage, not based on a hope and a wish that he's fit enough.
They've started the season so well, haven't they? Does that make it tougher for you to get players game time there?
It does, and I think what John Sharp's doing at the moment is great. They beat Batley at the weekend, and that was a great win over there. There weren't many teams go to Batley. Everybody knows about the Batley ground, and have a great performance like they did. So for him to get Brett Delaney in the team is a big one. That I'm presuming he's going to play. Where me and John Sharp have had a conversation, and the likelihood is that he will play. So. This is the dual reg relationship that works really well, and for it to work well, a lot of things have got to be in place. The owners of the clubs and the chief execs have got to be in sync with each other. The coaches have, and our players have got to have a real good understanding about what it's about. And when they go there, they're not sticking the collars up and rolling the shoulders, thinking I'm a Leeds Rhinos player, therefore I'm better than this level. They've got to go there and make some tackles and carry the ball, which is tough regardless what level you play at. So when I send Brett Delaney there, or whoever else plays there, they've got to go there with the right attitude as well.
You mentioned fitness there, Brian. You must be pleased with the shape the squad are in this year, especially how they defended in those closing stages at Leeds. They had the miles on the clock to be able to deal with that.
There were some moments towards the final, I reckon, 2 or 3 exchanges near our try line where it wasn't that we were fit, we're actually taking it to them. I think Brad Singleton in particular applied kick pressure on one occasion. I think it might be the Jimmy Kainos' try saver. It may not have been kick pressure, but he applied a certain amount of line speed, Brad Singleton, which is getting energy from somewhere. And yes, it's fitness, and yes, there's some sort of physiological benefits compared to us from last year. But it's tough, Brad. It's tough, and he probably wanted to just stand there, put his hand in his pockets and blow a little bit, but he didn't, and he came off. And we've got a fair few people in the team at the moment who have got that toughness and have got that ability to say, even though we're tired, even though I genuinely need to rest and everything about my body's burning, I'm going to keep on moving, and I'm going to get my body to an area where I can save tries. We all know, and everybody who's been involved with this club, player, coach, owner, fans, whoever knows that if you don't get that there in the first few games, that's incredibly hard to put in the following games.